All right, folks, good morning. Welcome into the Coffee Run with Johnny from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. We're going to start like we always do with our YOLO. I think, God, are we on day 5 of this thing? Have I made it 5 in a row? Let's see if Joe's Juju follows me into the show today. Here what I've got. I got the 160 we had the last time, plus our $35 win. So what I'm going to do is this. We're going to go out there 160 across. And again, apologies for the head in the shot there. 160 across. I'm going to take this quarter, though, and break it down like so into reds and whites. And we're going to go and bump up the 6 and 8 by $12 each. So they'll be $42. $42, 6 and 8. And I'll take the other 2 reds that I've got and add those to the 5 and 9. So they'll be $30 each. The $1 that I've got left over, we'll do it on any craps, and that's it. Again, we're rail dumping. The YOLO is a rail dump basically every day until we make like $100 on a shot. If I can get that far, then I'll take some money back and hold it off for the next time. But here we go. Let's see if we can get our one roll in today and keep making the money. So I'm going to do my regular set here, which is a 6-5 facing forward and a 2-1 on the top, and gosh, here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing done. I think that's wrong. 6-5. There we go. All righty. Whew. Always, I can't see it. It is a hard. Is it a hard 10? No, it's a hard 9. It's a 5-4. There's the 9. Slide the dice up. Boom. And boom. There's the 9. 5-4. I hope you can see the landing well enough down there. I know it's not super clear, but all right. So 30 pays 36. So 25, 35. I'm sorry, 30 pays 42. Duh. There we go. $42 on the 9. All right, awesome. There we go. There's your money today, which means tomorrow we can actually probably get the 6 and 8 up a little higher even. Yeah, I might even get those things to. We might put those at 60 each and let the rest of it fester. I don't know. We'll see. I'll evaluate the rack tonight. But yeah, there we go. YOLO number 5 or 6, whatever that is, in the books. So actually, I'll leave this money out here for right now. I'm going to use this money. No, I can't. I got to bring it all back. Hold on. Sorry, I'll bring it all back to the rack, as messy as it is, and I'll clean that up. I'll clean that up for tomorrow. But there's all the cashola. The YOLO has survived. So let's come back to our regular area here, and we'll talk a little bit. I got some things to say this morning, and let's see. Are we here? Here comes the camera. Good morning. All right, the danger zone. Okay, let's get after it. I got a couple things I want to get into, but before we start the regular talk, I teased this last night. So if you got here early enough, and how many of you are here? We have 22 people here that are going to get to see this for the first time. This is very cool. I'm so excited. I got a couple pictures to share with you. First picture I want to share with you, it is not scenic pictures, by the way, is this one. This is Mooch. If you know, you know. We lost Chiro a couple years ago, Chiro Mucci, Midmo Yo, and Craps for the Cure 2023, we raised the money to buy a dog, right, through Veterans Moving Forward. This is Mooch. He's nearing the end of his training. Believe it or not. So I'm talking to Lori from Vets Moving Forward today, and she wants to do some kind of marketing campaign around him, and they're going to make a big effort around Mooch and his selection and his final training and all that stuff. So there's Moochie, but here's the other one. Last year we did it again. We picked VMF again. I love this charity. I love what they stand for. You know, if you don't know, Vets Moving Forward is a charity where they raise and train these dogs, service animals, and they go to veterans that have PTSD only. Last year, and what they do is they only name the dogs. Like if you raise enough money, if you raise $25,000, you get to name the dog, and it's a whole process. You put an application in, and it's a whole thing. So we got to name the dog after Chiro, who wasn't a vet, but there is a veteran who shares his last name, so we named the dog after that veteran. That's how Chiro got part of this whole thing. As you probably know, the Robinson family, Ed Robinson, they lost their son a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And he was obviously in the service, and we really pushed hard to get to that number again this year, and hopefully get approval to name a dog again after Chris's son. And here are the parents. So this is, I don't know these two dogs' names, but I think it must be Seven and Queen. I don't know. Is that their name? I don't know. But the one on the right, this is mom to Pearson. So these two dogs got together. This is Pearson's mom. So this is the mother of the dog. She's pregnant. One of the dogs from that litter will be Pearson. Will be named after its kids. So there's the picture of the day right there. That's pretty cool. So the process has started. We got the paperwork done. The process is underway, and this is the litter that Pearson will come from is now cooking with this dog here. So I'm very excited about that. I wish it was under obviously better circumstances, right? But I'm glad that we're going to get some goodness out of this whole thing. So I wanted to share that with you this morning. I got this text with these pictures yesterday from Lori, and I just could not wait to share them with you this morning. So there's your morning juice. Isn't that great? All right, let's get into our regular stuff here. So today's going to be an interesting talk a little bit. I wasn't planning on talking a whole lot today, but a couple things came up in the last hour or so that I think deserve some attention. So let's get into it. And I think it's good to remind ourselves again, right, of why we do our shows, right? We had this great crap chat last night about how you're going to spend your time, in the downturn of the economy and blah, 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 blah. It comes, when you're light on money or when you're playing with nervous money or you don't want to burn money because whatever reasons exist in your life or in the world, you got to remember these kind of things, right? Your goal. And for a lot of us right now, our goal is to practice. Our goal is to have fun. Our goal is to, improve our game. Our goal is to, make friends online. Our goal is to gather, right? We talked about gathering in people's houses to play craps with us who have tables, right? Your goal can change, and it's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Greg from 555 Craps says it best. He's like, I got a craps table in my house. I never have to give the casino another dime. Right, I can play the game I love every day for free, which is actually really kind of cool if you think about it. Bankroll drives everything, right? Your relationship with risk drives it too. You can have very low bankroll and a high risk appetite. It's not going to be a good day for you, right? You might have to temper some of that stuff and work together with it, right? Identifying when you should stay and play, when you should run and walk away, right? Identifying how to lean in or when to lean in, and when to back off. That's an important decision that not everybody makes, right? Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you look at your opportunity and you make the wrong decision, or a decision that you later regret. Let's put it that way. So again, having your emotions and all that stuff centered, I think is really important, right? And having the discipline and the mindset to kind of execute. I think it's really, really, really interesting. He's rich on Monopoly money. Yeah. You know what? We all are. I am too, right? I made $100,000 Monopoly money last year. And frankly, I had as much fun doing that as I do in the casino. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't have enough money to go to the casino and make real money unless I get super lucky, right? It takes money to make money. You can't make, whatever, $1,000 a day at the casino by getting lucky every single day. You need money to make money. I don't have that kind of money. So the enjoyment for me is taking anything. If I can go in there and take anything off that table, I'm super happy about it because I feel like I won. Here at the house, I can have even more fun. I don't know. To me, it's just a game, and I'm having a good time with it. My relationship with this game and gambling in general is different than most people's, I think. I just, I'm not in a position where I need to go to the casino to make my rent. I'm not in a position where I have enough money to go there and felt them and make them hurt. I'm in a position where I have enough money to go have a good time and maybe build a little bit. So who knows? That might change. But here we go. We met the parents. We met the parents of Pearson. So I'm very stoked about that. I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview. I'm not going to talk about the rules of this thing yet, but I've been playing a thing called Duck and Cover. As you know, I've shown you a number of times. I showed David the Duck and Cover when I was in Vegas last time. He liked it a whole lot. Casino Quest has improved it, of course. David's awesome, right? They made a better version of Duck and Cover called The Clinic. I believe they're going to do a video on that this week. They've already filmed it. So I think a YouTube video is coming out this week and a Patreon video is going to come out next week. So this preview of it, look for that. Like, keep an eye on their channel. When you see a video called The Clinic come by, check it out. You're going to love the strategy. It's a great twist. Not even a twist. It's a great improvement on what I've been calling duck and cover. I love it. They did an awesome job. So you will love it. We might even talk about it on the Wednesday show with David. It's supposed to be John versus David, but we both love the strategy, so maybe it's not the best one to choose. Won't be much controversy there, but it's a good one. Skill and Luck asked the question in chat earlier. What did you think about Craps Chat last night? I think there's a couple things to talk about with that. Right? One is, what do you think of the show, the rhythm of our show? Are we getting better at it? It's hard with a panel and a new host and all of us trying to do run the controls. I think we're getting better. I think that the conversations are getting a little more lively. So what do you think? Format-wise, as we're going to wind down the season 3 here. We're going to wind it down. I think we said we're going to wind it down at the end of May. It'll be our last show. We'll take the summer off and come back in the fall. So now it's time to start thinking like, what would you do? What would you have us do in the show that's different, right? Format-wise, content-wise, you want to fire me, whatever it is. Let us know what you think about that. And then the question that came up last night, this is the real one for today too, is what are you going to do? Like, are you in that position where what's happening in the economy is troubling you to the point where you're not going to go gamble? You're not going to travel, right? If that's the case, and you are a regular gambler or traveler, what are you going to do instead? What is going to be are you going to practice? Are you going to focus on Crapsy? Do you want us to do more or different shows? Like, what is your life looking like? So you put it in chat now. As I come up here, I'll hopefully see them and read them out loud. Love to know, like, to carry on the conversation from last night, what are you going to do? And again, how will you be playing, and what should we do with the show? That's another big thing for us. So we're going to, we'll probably revamp a little bit coming into next year, in the next season. So, and the last thing I want to talk about here, and there's Overthinking Craps and Nemo. My Flea Flicker series is bankroll building, right? I think there's a definite difference between the different shows, right? And I said it last night, and I'll say it again today. When I get to throwing today, I'm bankroll building, right? I am working a bankroll builder series. I'm not going to sit here and throw for 6 shooters or 50 rolls or something that you can bank on in Crapsy. I'm going to throw until I've made my money, and then I'm going to stop. I'm bankroll building. When you're playing Crapsy with me on my show, I expect you'll be doing the same, most likely, because it's going to be an unknown amount of time, probably pretty short, that we're going to play. When you're playing with Brian, Hawaii Crap Shooters, or George from CY, those are the times you're going to go in there and really stress test strategies over long periods of time, maybe play some tournament style and up your game that way. Use our shows for the different reasons why we do them, and use the roles you're going to get. Use the roles you're going to get in our shows for different purposes, I guess. We all are here for different reasons. Our shows are. I think your Crapsy play can kind of match that. So let's see. Buckeye Slim says, have a casual, slow-paced group game during the show. One person shoots, rest bets. No Crapsy. Yeah, this is, it's funny. That was my original idea way back when for what I called Trip Around the Table. My idea was to casually talk and then play craps while we were talking. What happened was it became too much about the talking and not much about the playing, and the conversations kind of meandered a little bit, so it wasn't very good execution-wise, right? If we tried it like that, I would love it, but I don't think it would be Craps Chat, unless we found a way to make it really engaging as we're throwing. But it's hard to do, like, throw, deal, type in, and also have a good conversation. It's very hard to do that. Unless 4 people are conversing and 1 person is shooting and running Crapsy while we're going and interjecting with the rolls, I don't know how that's going to feel. I like the idea. It didn't go over very well, so we stopped that show. Let's see. Undisciplined, who I think is Papa Chops. I will crawl out from under my rock to answer the question. My Vegas travel has dropped already for several reasons, and you'll go to local fairly frequently. And that's interesting, because you're having money to gamble with locally, but not money you're willing to spend to go travel to Vegas. That's interesting. I think that's interesting. Like me, if I had a local casino that I could actually go to, I'm 2 hours away now, 2+ hours away. I just can't show up and play. I'd still go. Like, I have the bankroll to still go locally and kind of dink and dunk, have some fun with it. But now I'm in that position where I say it's just not worth it to drive 2.5 hours to go, right? So, and I can't take the time off of work and everything else. It's hard. Now, playing for me is a destination no matter where I go, whether it's Vegas or and actually, flight-wise, I'm shorter to Vegas than I am to my local. My local is almost 2.5 hours, 3 hours away. Vegas is about 2 hours away by plane. So, and Anyway, there's that. So the last thing on here too is Color Up. You know, while we're doing Craps Chat every other Sunday, Color Up is also doing their live podcast. Jim and Jeremy, great show last night. I watched it afterwards. They did a really good job. They broke down bubble craps quite a bit. And also, Jeremy announced last he's moving to Vegas, which is interesting. I think his wife works for the airlines. I think she's either she's an attendant or something else, but she flies all the time. So being in Vegas for them works for her career and stuff. But he talked about bubble craps last night and where the RNG lives, and he's like, the RNG is randomly deciding how hard the dice pump or whatever else. And they really broke down is bubble craps. And the thing about it is, I think bubble craps has become this weird, like, is it rigged thing. I don't think it's rigged. There's the RNG. I always thought the RNG was like determining the outcome. But what's happening is this. The bubble craps at first, maybe it still is, classified as a slot. Like the other day when I was in Vegas and they had the 10x multiplier, I played bubble craps and bubble roulette and got 10x, right? So I got my multiplier playing bubble. So it's classified as a slot, but it's regulated as an ETG. And there's a difference there. So I have said this is where my original bubble craps is rigged not even rigged is the wrong word, but my original ideas on bubble craps came from, because if it is a slot, RNGs have to determine the result because it's programmed to pay back X%. If that's the case, the RNG must determine the outcome, the dice must present the outcome. However, they've carved it out now. So now you have pure RNG slots, you have table games, and ETGs now have carved out a separate little bit of legislation and governance. So ETGs act differently. An ETG has to be the same odds, we knew this, as their table equivalent. They're classified as a slot in terms of like points and how the money works, but the randomness can be determined the same way the randomness on a game is on a table game is determined. So the dice can determine the outcome, the ball can determine the roulette outcome, and all of that. But the game itself is not. The outcomes are not governed by an RNG. The mechanism, like for example, the RNG in the roulette machine determines how fast the ball comes pumping out and when it comes pumping out. Like that's where the randomness comes into it to simulate a person. And I think Bubble's the same way. So they did a great job of breaking that stuff down last night. I appreciate that. It adds clarity to it, right? It adds clarity to the whole conversation of where the RNG lives, how it plays in, and how the regulations around ETGs differ from slots and from actual tables. Watch the podcast. There's more information in there. I would love to have them or Casino Tiers or maybe us at some point. Maybe David at Casino Quest can pull it off and have somebody from an ETG manufacturer on to really explain how the mechanism works. And once and for all, not just dispel the myth, but really give some understanding of how it works. I think that'd be really cool. So there it is. I think that's the thing. All right, what else do we have here? I think that's it for the openers. Let's jump into this. It's Mathy Monday, and this came up on Joe's show. I had a whole different plan for today, but Joe on Craft Master Journey shared a story from his last casino trip where he plays the Horseman a lot, which is great. I think the Horseman's awesome. And he ran into a buzzsaw with it. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at some comments over here. We'll get to these. We'll talk about these bubble craps. I don't think it's not rigged. It's definitely not rigged. It feels rigged, but it's not rigged. Anyway, so Joe ran into a buzzsaw where he was playing the Horseman and he's super disciplined, right? And a woman was shooting, I think it was a woman, random roller, whatever. He did the Horseman, made his money back on the Horseman, or she probably took his don't because she had an hour and a half roll. Took his don't, I'm sure. I'm sure his come bet's paid. And then he didn't play. And she rolled forever, right? And he made no money on it. He was lamenting like, God, people around me made all this money. She rolled forever. I didn't make anything, right? And disciplined as you can be, the Horseman is what the Horseman is, right? And I say this here, I look at gameplay in phases, and I think a lot of people just run a strategy and play it forever, right? Or like they're very rigid in it. Some things are meant to be rigid. The Horseman's a very rigid strategy, by the way. But it's a starting point. And I think every strategy, I hate to use the word strategy because a lot of people get mad about it, but strategies are nothing more to me than the opening move, right? It's like when you're playing chess, there's like, whatever number of moves there are you can make in chess as your openers. That's what crap strategies are. Whether it's duck and cover or jam spin or the horseman or skill 66, whatever it is, whatever the strategy is, it's an opening move. Jen says he played 3 times on her. I missed his whole diatribe on that, right? The strategy is nothing more than your opening move. And in phase 1, the way I play craps in any game really is in multiple phases. Phase 1 is get me back my money. I'm putting money out there. Let me get my money back. That's phase 1. Okay. Ideally, phase 1 gets my money back and a little bit of juice. A little bit of juice. Not enough to walk home with, but a little bit of juice. If you get your money back, remember you make 100% profit, right? And we're going to get to that in a second. When you've made your money back, you've made a good profit on that shooter. But at that point, you're going to switch, right? These are like decision points. Phase 1, opening move, get your money back. Phase 2 is the money play, the money move, which is lock something up, right? Get your money back. The next roll the dice, the next hit should be meaningful enough to be like, yeah, now I got my money back and a satisfactory profit, right? And now you're in phase 3, the white phase, right? The decision, the real profit play. Do I walk away or do I lean in, right? Do I run or do I walk? Do I run with the casino? Am I going to go all in and do this thing, right? That's your third. First 2 are really not, there's no decisions, right? It's you play your way to get even and a little bit up. You take another hit or so to lock in some okay profit. And then you go, my decision is I'm walking out of here with what I got or I'm leaning into this son of a gun. Either way, right? The horseman playing multiple times on the same shooter is going to be a mistake. You play it once per shooter and then you make your decision. The horseman gives you a decision to make. If it loses, it loses, right? But if it wins anything at all, you're in a spot where you got to make the call, right? Take the hit, lock something up, keep on playing. If you're not going to keep on playing, then either accept the fact that you're not going to play or you walk away. Color up and get out of there, right? Make room for the next person, which is and that's an okay decision. If you're down in your rack and the horseman works and you went from being down 200 to up 100 and you're okay with that, then tap out and go, right? But if that $100, right, is now liquid, go back out and play it again. So we're going to play today in our daily paycheck. And by the way, my daily paycheck stats here have not changed in a while. We're still 32-10. The other day I played, Thursday I played this versus that, and both strategies won. I didn't log it in as a win because it's not really fair to do that. Friday follows, we had remember that great 35 roller I had? And I made like $15,000 playing the Bizarro World strategy. I'm not logging that as a win either because I was just farting around having a good time. So those were not paycheck plays. So I'm not logging those as wins. Sometimes when I say I'm going to try and make a paycheck, we're going to log that as a win or a loss. If I'm just screwing around or testing something out, we're not going to call it a paycheck play, right? Today, we're going to go and play the horseman. I'm going to play it like this. I'm going to play what I'm calling the duck and ride instead of the duck and cover. So let me go to the table over here real quick. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first, and then we're going to go ahead and roll it out. So let me go ahead and do a quick little bit of teaching here on duck and cover, and I'll show you I'm going to make the horseman feel the same way. So give me a sec. I'm going to go to the box screen here, and let's see. I'm going to walk over. So just give me a second, and let's see here. So normally, duck and cover. And again, you gotta wait till you see the version that David came up with is freaking awesome. All right, duck and cover is this, right? You got 110. I think is the smallest level you can play this at. You can't play it any smaller than 110 unless you're on bubble. Okay, bubble you can go $5 on the inside and then drop down to $1. But basically it's this, right? Let's say the 5 rolls, right? And it's $35, right? Let's just pretend we'll do the number that rolled, but you can take whatever. Take the number down and go to $10. So you're ducking out of the way and you're covering the number. That's why I call it duck and cover. You're ducking out of the way, pulling some money off, covering the number, right? Let's say the 8 rolls, right, for $35, you're going to duck out of the way and cover it up with something a little smaller, table minimum, right? 2, and 3. You're out of the hand. 2 rolls, you're out of the hand, you're playing for nothing, right? Duck and cover is about reducing bets as they hit and getting your money back and still being able to play, right? Your other option, of course, is take these 2 down as well, yada, yada, yada. That's the idea of duck and cover. Start a little bit bigger, reduce your bets as they hit, but keep on playing. The idea is to be left with 44 inside and let the roll happen, right? You can lock up your profit, right? And again, a quick re-demonstration because it's important to see this, right? If you get 1 hit, you duck and cover. You get a second hit on the 9, right? You duck and cover, right? Or sorry, you duck and cover. You've got your money back. You went out 110, you're in for 100, you're basically out of the hand. Phase 1 is get me my money back. We just did that, right? Phase 2 is lock up a little bit of profit. Watch this. I'm going to take this quarter as $25. 6 and 8 look like 12 each. Now watch this. There's our 110. And that first move got my money back, got me a satisfactory profit. I was out for 110. I'm in for 26. 110 plus 26. That is 25% profit or so on this shooter. Probably 20%, right? On this shooter. That's satisfactory to me. Now I'm playing. Phase 3 is, my decision is, take 26 plus 44 and get out of here, right? Or take the 44 and lean into the roll. Phase 3 strategies, right? Phase 1, get the money back with a tiny bit of profit. Phase 2, lock up something satisfactory. In this case, I pulled more back to do that. Phase 3 is make your decision. Lean in or get out, right? That's duck and cover. That's the concept behind it. To me, it is the perfect phase 3 or 3-phase strategy. It plays all 3 phases. Now, can the horseman replicate that? Right, the horseman played correctly to me is 2-1. We're going to do it like this today. Watch this, $50 on the don't. And 3 come bets, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to not, we've talked the horseman enough. You know the whole point of it is the early 7s. Let's assume that we get here or here, doesn't matter where the numbers go. All 3 come bets get set. Let's assume that that's the case. I'm going to put myself into Joe's shoes. Matter of fact, I'm going to put myself into the shoes, the actual shoes I was in Reno. I think Brian from Hawaii Crap Shoes was here. Right? When I was in Reno, I love this story. This is what happened to me in Reno. On Chef Dice. 60-something roller he went off of, right? I started like this, okay? Here's what happened, okay? At some point, he picked off the don't, okay? Whatever the point was, I don't even care what the point was, right? But during the roll, he knocked off 2 come bets for me, right? So this one comes down and gets paid. That one comes down and gets paid. He probably took my don't at some point. And here I am in the rack, right? I got $100 and I got a bet on the 9. Or I think the bet was on the 5 back. It was on the 5. I got the 9 back, right? I got $100 in the rack. I started with 125. I got $25 sitting there. He took my don't. And I'm like, well, I'm even. I'm looking at this saying I'm even for this shooter, right? I have exactly 125 that I started with. What do you do in this case, right? What do you do here? Well, in that moment, I think this was like 7 rolls in. By the time he hit those 2 numbers again, at 7 rolls in, I'm like, what am I going to do? Do I go back out and replay the horseman? No, because he's knocked off my don't. I don't do that, right? So what I did was, I forget what I did, either $25 or I took 50. I forget what I did. And I grabbed the 6 and the 8. I forgot how much I grabbed them for, but I grabbed the 2 numbers, right? I think I did them for 18 each. I think I might have done, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it was 18 because it was a $15 table. So these went out there at $18 each. Okay, just like so, $18 each, right? So I took the $50 and I got back, whatever, 36, 40, $50, right? I got this much money back. He hits one for $21, right? And I went and grabbed the 9 for $15, right? And I'm not out of the hand anymore, right? I'm in for the 125. I've got something left. I got half the money basically back. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to play this thing out and see what happens, right? 53 rolls later, my 9's at $1,000, right? But I used the horseman to get started, to get my roll started, and then I ran this thing out. So here's what we're going to do today. Today I'm going to play the horseman duck and cover style. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go ahead, let our come bets get set. If a come bet gets paid, it's going to come down and get paid 25 bucks. What I'm going to do is duck and cover it. I'm going to take the money back to the rack and I'm going to cover something. $25 comes back and gets paid. I'm going to cover something. Every time a bet comes back, we're going to take money back and we're going to reduce down the table minimum. Just like the 110 across or 110 inside was. Take the bet back, place something smaller. We're going to try and get to minimum bets as these things happen. Replace the come bets with the table minimum bet. That way you can see how the horseman can follow the same pattern as duck and cover. It's going to go from green bets to red bets, using only the wins to make that happen. If we get a bunch of wins, it's going to be fantastic. If we don't get a bunch of wins, it's going to be ugly, right? But you can keep playing. The horseman can be a phased play. It's not really sitting there to just, fester away and watch big rolls go by. You can transition from it just by staying with the strategy. Taking a come bet that wins down a level and playing it like that. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? So give me a sec here. We're going to go ahead and transition to the other screens. Give me a second. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to put this on the floor where it goes. And let me get Crapsy turned on for y'all. Just take me a minute to get that. Now that I've walked over here, let's reconnect to Crapsy. Reconnect to that. Waiting for connection. Pro Craps Daily Paycheck. Okay, Crapsy is now turned on. So go for it. Get your bets on in. The table just got started. I'm going to do this. We're going to go to, let's see. I'm just going to change to this screen here so you can see the bets. All right, I'm not getting our roll tracker stats. Hold on a second. Let me go refresh those things. Sometimes these things get stuck. I got to click the button so that it resets. There it goes. Okay. We have $5,000, but I'm going to play this the way I just showed you. Okay, we're going to play it for a lower money. So there's 500 bucks on the table. I'm going to get 300 in black and 200 in green. Okay, 300 and 200. And we'll play it like I just showed you. I'm going to go 50 bucks on the don't and three $25 come bets. And we're going to try and convert those come bets as best we can into place bets. That's going to be the plan today. So I'm going to put this 375 over here and let that just sit there. It's 125 per person or per shooter. And again, we're going to try and our best to shoot well and to make three phases work. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to get Crapsy actually turned on. Bring these dice over and Puck will be off and out of the way. And let's do it. Let's see how we do today. Obviously, if we blow the don't, it's going to be what it is. If I blow the don't, I'm going to go just to come bets. I'm not going to fight City Hall down here. If we blow it on the come out, we blow it on the come out, and that's it. All right, let's go. And again, think through how you can make your play transitional. Think of it in three phases. Here we go. We're coming out. We are coming out. Here we go. That is a, you know what, as we're talking about, 5-2, 5-7. So we're going to go right away, 2-5-7. Is it 2-5? Yeah, 2-5. Right away, 2-5-7. Get your bets reset. I'll get my dice set and then I'll change Crapsy up. Trying to find that good rhythm of timing in Crapsy to make sure that it's not too slow, but also not annoyingly quick. All right, here we go. Coming out again. Now, we lose our don't. So I'm not going to go don't pass. We're going to go just three come bets and nothing else. You can do the way Ken does it, which is put a screw you bet out here, right? But we're going to go, because I really want to demonstrate the way that you transition. So there's a 9, a 5, and a 4. So 5, 4, 9. We have a point. And I won't change the camera because you can see it. There's the come bet. Can you see it? Right there? Yep. Okay, so one come bet's coming out. I'm going to move the puck over on the 9. And here we go. Ooh, that's not right. 6, 5, 2. Sometimes you get the set screwed up. Alrighty. Dice are out. That is a 6, a 5, and a 1. So first come bet is going to move up. 5, 1, 6. Let's get that typed. All right, so this come bet's going to move up into the 6. Our second come bet's going to come in. Again, as these come bets hit, we're going to grab one number with it. I'm going to pull part of the win back and leave part of the win out there. You'll see what I mean. We're going to try and do a duck and cover equivalent as we go. Get back the bet plus a little bit, and hopefully we'll keep things charging forward. Okay, dice are out. Here we go. Points 9. That's going to be a 5, 4, and a 1. Alrighty. So again, this come bet here, I'll just move it up into the 5. Third come bet's out. Hopefully we got to get something to repeat. Otherwise, the demonstration is going to suck, right? Need that repeater, a repeated number to get us rolling. But again, the horseman being designed to kind of keep you relatively safe in the early stages, that's the point. I blew the don't, so we're going to have to get these come bets to pay to make it work. Here we go. Ooh, spinny, spinny. 4, 2, 6. Perfect. 4, 2, 6. Awesome. Let's see what happens here. 4, 2. All right. Let's go here. So this come bet will come down. This come bet moves up. This one here gets paid. I'm going to pay it like this, even though the dealers would never do this. We're going to pay it with $25 like that. Okay? I'm going to take the bet down. We're going to duck. The original bet comes down. A new bet goes out at half the size. So we get back our bet plus a little bit. Now remember, in duck and cover, when you've got a $25 bet out there and it pays 35, you're pulling back 50 and leaving 10, right? We're pulling back 38 and leaving 12. Okay, it's the same move. Pull back your bet plus part of your winnings and go out there with something small. The difference with come betting is that you're getting paid very little, right? But that's okay. We got back one of our come bets and we got back a little bit of juice. Let's hope we can keep the roll going. We're going to transition out of the horseman and do something hopefully a little bit better than watching, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you're giving yourself a chance to have it work, and that's the idea here. Here we go. We're going to come out, or we're going to dice her out. We already have our come bets up. Here we go. Let's get a 5 or a 6. That's a hard 4. Deuces. Dan asked me, should I have been on the pass line? 2, 2, 4. If I'm shooting, yes. If I'm shooting, it would have been a pass line bet and 2 come bets. I'm just doing a demonstration here on how you play it with another shooter, with a different shooter. I don't like doing the pass line necessarily when I'm doing this, unless I've got come bets already up there. I just like the rhythm of 3 bets going. It's just personal preference for me. I just how I like to play. I like having 3 bets kind of in motion, even though that's technically 1. It just, to me, it's a visual thing. So, all right, let's go get your craps turned on. Let's get something else to hit up here. Here we go. Dice out. That's aces. Aces. That's 2 1s. 2 1s. That's ace, ace, and that's ace, ace. I need a 5 or a 6, dude. Let's go. Okay, we're set, and we're dice her out. That is a 5-2-7. So we got nothing out of that roll. That was a total loss. 5-2. Actually, it's 2-5. Sorry, 2-5. That's a bummer. Let's go change the screen. We'll lose our money. So that was no bueno. She happens sometimes like that. Let's go. New shooter. So we have a new 125. We'll do $50 here in the don't. I have 2 quarters here. I'll have to break a black if we don't get them set. But yeah, we pulled a little bit back. Duck and cover didn't work that time. You just gotta get the rolls, right? Gotta get the rolls. All right, let's get reset. Let's get reset, and we'll dice her out on the don't. Shooting from the don't. Yeah, 43. It wasn't a total loss, but it wasn't a net win though. You know what I mean? So, all right. Where's my 2? There it is. Here we go. Coming out. Coming out. $1-5. There's the 6 from the last shooter. That rolled. I rolled that. I'm sorry. That's a 6. 5-1. 5-1-6. All right, get your bets in there, folks. 5-1. And we'll move the puck over and get that first bet. There it is. Looks like the roll tracker didn't pick it up. Hold on. Okay. You sure can, Skill. You can go both ways. I'm trying to show today how Joe could have transitioned from the quarter horseman to a right side play if the roll was good. It's hard to like fake a great roll, but he ran into a great roll, and I'm hoping I get one today. We can see how it works or how it could have happened. So let's get it done. Let's get it done. That is an 8 hod, 4-4 square pair. That's a 4-4, all right? And then over here on crap, see, it's also a 4-4. Booyah. So the come bet, we'll just travel up into the 8. My next come bet's gonna come out. I'm not gonna change the screen yet. If that gets set, I'll break a black chip to get the third quarter that I need. And here we go. Dice are out. That's a 4, 3-1. All right, 3-1-4. And again, that come bet will just travel on up to the 4. I will break the black chip now into 4 greens and do my third one. And here we go. Dice out. That is aces again. 1 and a 1. So we get the dice reset, and then we'll turn the old crapsy on. Here we go. Oh, we lost our comeback. Sorry, lost the comeback. That's, oh wait, did that lose? Yeah, comeback lost, so that's it. So that's, this horseman's gonna be a little crippled because he's only got 2 comebacks to play with, which kind of sucks, yeah. Yep. All right, that is a 9, 5-4. Little crippled on this one, 5-4-9. All right, 6-5-2-1. Ooh, they smacked. It's a 5, a 3-2-5. So we didn't get a 4 or an 8 again. This is the one part about come betting that I just hate. That was a 3-2-5. This is what happened when I encounter long rolls on this thing. You can sit here for a long time waiting for a bet to come down. It just takes a minute sometimes. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. It's why like being a Molly player is really, it's not for everybody because you have to be patient. But once it happens, then you can make your move, as they say, right? Here we go. Dice out. Let's go. Can't see it. 6-5 yo. 6-5 yo. Again, I won't change the screen because nothing happens for me. But we'll go ahead and get the dice set and give you guys a chance to reset. See a horn. That's 2 horns and a couple of rolls there. So if that matters to you, that just happened. Here we go. That's a 9. 5 and a 4. Am I on the 9? No. If I had gone back out in the come after that ace deuce took our money, we'd have been on that, right? But again, with the horseman, you're pretty rigid in terms of how much outlay you're going to put out there. That's why it works. It's also sometimes why, and this roll is a good example of why it may not work. Here we are, what are we, 9 rolls in here, and I've gotten no payments yet. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Here we go. Chomping, or they say chomping at the bit, or whatever the horse term is. Let's go. Seven out. Good Lord. Didn't get it. We did not get anything up here. That really sucks. 6-1, and you're done. It's okay. Treading water. Lost about 40 bucks in the first guy, or whatever. Or lost 60 bucks in the first guy. On this shooter here, these 2 lose, of course. That one wins down there. So you lose a quarter on this shooter. You lose the quarter that you had in the come, effectively. So we tied. I'll call it a virtual tie. Here we go again. Next shooter. Next shooter. Get your bets in. I'm going to get things set. We'll try it again. Let's make the transition happen. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I got to do the computer crap to make it work. Here we go. Craftsy set. Let's go. I can't change the dice set, Frank. I can't do it because remember I'm tracking stats from a single dice set for a bone tracker, so I can't change. I have to keep it the same. We're still in data collection mode here. And that was actually a pretty good roller. That was like a 9 or 10. I'll take that on most days. Let's go. Let's get a point. There's the aces. There's the aces, the 1 and a 1. That helps. Oh crap, I didn't show the screen. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here's the payment on that. I'm gonna take that back to the rack because we are kind of in recovery mode, right? We lost a quarter on the last shooter and we lost 2 quarters on the first shooter, so we gotta make some hay. coming back home. Normally, I'd probably press that by 1. But again, the point of today's show is not about winning a bunch of money with the horseman. It's about showing how the transition happens, right? So here we go. Dice are out. Dice are out. I can't see in the corner. 5, 2, 7. So we just gave it right back, of course. 2, 5. All right, we'll lose that. I'll just put it right back out there and make it so you can see, because I know I didn't change the screen fast enough that time. Here we go. All right, let's get it done. Come on, let's get to a point here, huh? Either a point or a full win. That's what I want to see. 1, 2, 3. God, are you kidding me? Right back to it again. So again, there's 50. I'm just going to take it back to the rack. Let's get a point. Let's get a point. Come on. Here we go. That is a 4 and a 3. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? 4, 3. This is going to be the come out series from hell. 2 7s, 2 horns. So again, we lose. And we just go right back at it. Golly. Give me a damn number. Give me a number. We're just going to ping pong here for a while. Where's the drink lady? Where's the drink lady? Here we go. Come on. This will be an ace deuce again, right? Let's do it. Let's get a number. Let's get us a number. There's a 10. All right. That's good for the don't, actually. That's a 4, 6. There we go. All righty. So we have our point is on the 10. Puck moves over. I will take our first of 3 come bets. And hopefully this shooter can transition, right? Let's make a transition play. Let's actually get to be the point of why we're here today. I had this whole plan. Actually, it's funny. I had a different plan for the show, and Joe's show changed my mind to do it like this today. So, all right, let's do it. Dice out. Here we go. 5, 4, 1. Look at that. 2 box numbers in a row. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Come bet travels to the 5. Next come bet is out. Let's go. Let's make a transition. Let's shoot good enough to make a transition to the right side. Here we go. Nope, I'm not doing that skill. And the reason why I'm not is because we want to see it happen. I haven't gotten 1 bet to regress yet. I want to show the point, right? Because the whole point of this was that Joe missed out on a long roll because he was playing the horseman too long, right? The whole point of this is to say, look, if you're going to use the horseman to go to the right side, this is how you do it, right? That was the point. So just trying to win money today by following how shitty I'm throwing is not the point. I hope that makes sense, right? Sometimes I do things opposite what you might think, but there's always a reason for it. Here we go. Maybe today is a day we can't transition, right? Maybe it's just one of those like Joe's show, bad throwing, my show, bad throwing. Maybe it's just not a good day for it, but we're going to try anyway. Okay, that come bet goes to the 6. Third come bet's out. Here we go. We're going to this is going to be the shooter. This guy's going to totally transition. I know it. It's going to work well. It's going to work. Okie doke. Let's do this and that. And here we go. This is John's birthday present to Joe, right? Gary, why not pull the DP when I win on the come out playing the horseman? Why not pull the DP? Oh, because it's a new shooter, right? I guess I could. You're saying on the first win, pull it out. I could do that. Pull the $100 down and let it be. That's not a bad way to do this, Gary. Actually, I think you're on to a point that Greg and I struggled with early on when we were talking about the strategy. If you win early, do you just take the bet down and that's it? Interesting way of thinking about it. But then you lose out on the come out on the following 7. That's where you lose it, right? I don't know. To me, this thing attacks the 7 so well early that I never wanted to lose that advantage. Here we go. Let's get this next come bet somewhere good, shall we? It goes to the 8. Cool. We got all 3 set. That's awesome. Awesome. Here is the potential disaster, right? The horseman's disaster will be to roll a 10 and then roll a 7 and lose all 5 bets. But we're going to dodge that today. We're going to get all 3 of those to set. That goes to the 8, by the way. Let's do it. Let's do it. Greg says it was 65 yesterday and now it's flurrying. That's crazy. All right. 5, 6, or 8. 5, 6, or 8. Let's get any one of those guys. Come on. Any one of them. Oh, the kiss of death. It's a 4. 3, 1. 3, 1. Actually, it's a 1, 3, 4. Little Joe. 1, 3. Oh, we had the... I was thinking, why didn't we get the small? We had the aces and the ace deuce, but those damn 7s. Those damn 7s took them away. All right, let's do her. Five, 6, or 8. 5, 6, or 8. Channel a good box number for me, right? Channel a good box number. Here we go. Here we go. It's a 3. 1, 2, 3. Ace deuce. We're going to get that small. We're going to get it. If nothing else, that'll be the way that somebody wins today, right? Well, it's funny too, right? If I'm not getting wins up in here either, the people who are pressing also aren't winning. It's like everybody's sitting here waiting for the shooter to do something cool, and he just ain't. But duck and cover would have been great. Duck and cover would have gotten paid 3 times and been playing, right? We would have already been playing. So, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. 5, 6, or 8, Johnny. You can do this. You can do it, man. Let's go. That looks like an 8. There we go. That's one of them. 5, 3, 8. All right, 5 and a 3. We can duck and cover one of those things. 5, 3. We'll transition 1 bet. Awesome. Let's finally change the screen, huh? 8 comes down. And we'll get paid $25 on the 8. And we'll take that back. I'm going to drop $12 out and just grab the 8 with a place bet, right? So we take back our bet plus the win, go back out for a little less. Okay, here we go. Let's get one of the other ones to do the same thing. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's have 2 of them transition. Alrighty. 8. Or sorry, 9. 5, 6, 3, 9. 6, 3, 9. I almost put this in the 9. I almost thought about that. But you're only getting 1 bet to pick from, right? 6, 3. And I think, like I said, when I play this normally, I might grab 2 numbers out of that $25 instead of just 1. But I'm trying to show reduction of 1 and bring it back a little bit of juice. So it's a little different than maybe I would normally play it. But hopefully it makes sense what I'm doing here. And yeah, I think you're right. I think, you guys are making a great point here, is that if we catch a win, switch over here, catch the 7, like, I get it. I just want to keep the 7 strong. And that was always my argument. to keep the don't going back. Here we go. Dice out. Oh, another kiss. It's a 5. It's a 5. 3, 2. Good job. 2, 3, 5. Goody, goody. Second one. So that will come down. We'll pay it with nickels. I'll grab the 5 right back, and we'll take this money back. So we're going to duck and cover. Take our bet back, plus a win, plus keep playing. So that'll work. Let's get our 6 and make it a clean sweep. Takes a minute, right? Like I said, we're on what, roll number 13 here for this shooter. It's taken 13 rolls to get these bets to pay. It takes a long time come betting, unless you're on a buckshot system or you're throwing buckshots to get your bets to pay. It takes a while. But if it goes off for 60 rolls, you know, you're behind it, but you're still on it. You're not sitting there letting the giant roll pass you by, right? There's the 6, 5-1. So we got all 3 of them. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. 1, 5, 6. So we did the full move. 1, 5. Awesome. Let's bring that 6 down. And now we're out of it. We'll pay it again. We'll pay it with reds and whites. Like so. There's the 25 bucks. Let's go $12 back on the 6. We'll take our bet back. And a little bit of excess on that one bet. And now we're good. For this shooter, we're actually doing good. There's actually a quarter in reds that I can take, like so. Right? I'm going to actually color these up just to see where we are. We have a 375 in the rack, right? Plus that is 4 1/4. Plus that right there, which is $34. So we're down about 50 bucks still. If that bet happens to resolve for us, we'll be back to even again. But if the roll happens, we can make some money now, right? If the roll keeps going, you've made a move. You're in good shape. Took a long time. Took longer than it should have to get those damn things to hit up there, but we got them. All right, here we go. Dice out. Dice out. Seven. There's the 7 for Trey. Right when we're talking about it. We should be close to it. 4, 3, 7. So if I take these bets down. Oh, you didn't see the roll. Sorry, guys. I didn't change the screen. So those, are, of course, are losers. This, of course, is a winner down here. And that's $100. I'm going to just make it a black chip. Bring it to the rack. My rack has got $4.75 in the front plus the $4, so I'm down about 20 bucks. Okay? And again, we only got to make the full transition one time and never got a hit out of it, but you have yourself set up. It's again, it's duck and cover on the slow path, but at least you're not sitting here doing nothing the entire time, which I would be very, very sad about. Let's do one more shooter. One more shooter. If I happen to catch a come out 7 or come out ace deuce or something like that, I'll do what y'all said. We'll play it your way. We'll let the audience drive it if we happen to get that result. Let's go. Get your bets in. Last shooter, no matter what happens, last shooter. Here we go. Last shooter. Let's do it. Let's get a good one this time, huh? Let's get a good one. I have showed the stretch play, and it got its ass kicked. Don't you remember that? We did the stretch play a while back on a Daily Paycheck. 6-2. 6-2. I did it for 5 or 10 days, and we ended up losing like 7 out of the 10 days. We got crushed on that thing. I found the perfect exact rhythm that beat it. So yeah, I did try it. Let's see. We're on a point of 8. I'm losing my train of thought here, so hold on. that. Let's get some greens. Let's go here, here. But if you want to, JR, I'll be happy to do it again. Here we go. Am I on the right screen? Yes. Let's go. Oh, come bet. Boom. Point is 8. Point is 8. That is a 5. 4-1. 4-1. Ugh. Getting old. Here we go. 6, 5, 2, and a 1. All right. All right. Looking for a 5 or something else. Let's go. Oh, big old kiss. It's aces. I lost the come bet. That's a bummer. Lost the come bet. That's a bummer. It's going to make profiting on this shooter really hard now. Oh well, that goes away. Huge bummer. Such a bummer. There's things that really, in this game, kind of piss me off. I hate losing to the 11 on the don't pass come outs, and I hate losing to horn numbers and they come. To me, those are such uniquely frustrating events. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Right screen's up. Let's do it. That is a midnight. We lost 2 in a row in the come. Good Lord. Now we're going to for sure lose money today. That sucks, man. That really sucks. Boy, talk about Joe and John today not having conducive rolls, right? Gee whiz. That's all right. I can still do it. I can still hit a 5. Let's hit a 5. Let's hit a 5. Come on, Johnny. A 3. There's all the horns and all the horns all day long. 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you, for some reason, I just get into these pockets where it's just nothing but freaking horns, right? For like a period of time. Then they just disappear on me. But boy, oh boy, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Here we go. Give me a 5. Give me a 5. Aces again, I'm telling you. I am telling you. If you see me throw one horn number, you have got to get in it. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, my dice do this. And if I'm throwing the horns, Dan saw it the other night, right? This is what I do. For whatever reason, the set either goes all inside or it's all horn. It's one of those crazy things, right? Yeah. Oh, for sure, Jen. Again, I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to be a what do you call it? I'll explain it later. Another one. 5 in a row. 5 in a row. 2-1. Whoo! Wow. 5 in a row. That's pretty awesome. Can we go for 6? Can we go for 6? Come on. Where is the yo? Where is the yo? Yeah, this is time to attack the horn, right? There's the 5. 3, 2, 5. Wow. Wow, that was a hell of a run there. 2, 3. That was kind of fun, actually. Alrighty. We finally get paid. 5 will come down. I'm going to pay it in reds. And let's just we'll grab the 9. We'll grab the 9 and we'll take this back to the rack. Kind of funny right there. All right, let's go. Let's go. That was a crazy little run. Crazy little run. I'm not changing anything. Like I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm trying to show. How do I explain what I do here on the show? It's hard. We've been doing the show for a long time. There's a 6. That will, the point's 8, not 6. When I do these kind of things, I'm not going to try and show you the magical way to adjust to a great shooter or whatever's happening. I'm trying to show a pattern of something else, right? And all this other stuff would take away from what I'm actually trying to do. So you guys can do all that. I'm trying to show something totally different. And so I'm going to focus in on just a couple of bets that we're making and not try and distract from the thing, right? I hope that makes sense. I may be missing out, but I'm doing it knowingly and on purpose because I want to keep your attention focused on just this, not the other stuff. And that's a decision that I'm making as an educator, not as a player, but I'm trying to keep vision on the important stuff, right? 4-2-6. 2-4. I could cover the 5. It didn't matter the 5 or the 9. I only had $10 to play with. When I duck and covered the $25, I had five nickels, and I'm only going to play 2 of them. So it's either one or the other. I just picked the 9 because I hadn't thrown one in a while. So I thought, what the hell? It's with only one. Again, I would probably have done both if it was a real game, right? I would have done, that's what I'm saying. I'm playing this different than I would play it in the casino because I want you to see what getting out of one bet and reducing one bet down looks like. That's it. So that's the only reason why I'm doing that. All right, here we go. Here we go. That's going to be, I can't see it. It's a 5-4. There's the 9. 5 and a 4. I can't believe all those horns. That's so funny. All right, that'll get paid. I need to change my screen so you can see it. Super interesting payment. We're going to go 15 for 1. There's 1. And there's the 15. So now I can grab anything, right? I have whites in here. I can grab the 6. I can grab the 5. I can grab whatever we decide. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 5 just to keep it even. If I get another hit, I'll grab the 6, and then we'll start, moving forward. Probably not a bad idea, though, to grab at this point the hard 8, which I'll do. I'll grab the hard 8 just as a throwaway hedge to save that one down there. All right, 6-5, 2-1. Here we go. 10 on the end. 4 and a 6. 4 and a 6. What do we need for this? We need the 4 for the small and the 11 for the tall, right? Not that I'm trying for it, but I just want to have it in my head so I know when to celebrate. Alrighty. Here we go. That's the 8. And it's easy. So we end up losing our don't, which blows, but it's an okay gift. It's an okay. For everybody else at the table, that's pretty good. We still have 2 bets up there. And what do we have in the rack? We still have 375 in the rack. We're still just down 100 and a quarter. And I've got, whatever, 18 bucks sitting here. This could go back out, or we could be like, you know, whatever. Did I put the 8 in? I didn't. 2, 6. Okay, there's Crapsy being corrected. 2, 6. That's the point. We're coming out. Here we go. Here we go. And I will probably make a move here once we get the point established. Okay, coming out. Coming out. Let's do this here. Boom, boom. All right, there's a 5, 4 and a 1. Let's move the puck over. 4, 1. 4, 1. So we have a choice to make. We've got 2 bets, 5 and 9. I have $18 in the rack. This is not a meaningful amount of money compared to where I'm at. I'm going to grab the 6 to get a third bet, and we'll have the $6 sitting here as throw-in change if we need it. But that's what we're going to grab one extra number from it, and we've used the come bets, the one come bet, to get the rest of them, right? So one come bet turned into 3 essentially. Losing the don't sucks, but again, you're fighting the 8 anyway, so that's kind of a tall order, and maybe this shooter keeps on going and we make some money. If not, we gave it a shot. We didn't sit here and watch it go by, right? We gave a chance. That's all I wanted. All I want is a chance, man. Just want a chance, man. That is a set of aces. So what does JR say? When John throws a horn, the next 3 bets ought to be horn bets, right? When I throw 1, get your asses in the horn, right? That's what he's saying. Get your asses in the horn right now. Go 4, go 8, go 12, and see what happens. Let's see if he's right. Let's see if he's right about that. Here we go. Here we go. Yo for the tall, he wants. Yo for the tall. All right, here we go. That's a 5. Okay, we'll take that. 1, 4. Okay, so 1 and a 4. 1 and a 4. Cool. That's the point being hit. We'll do 15 for 1 on that deal. And I will pick up for a nickel the 4 and the 10. And now we're basically across, coming out. We're predisposed now to lose 125 bucks, which is not the end of the world, right? Or I think we're ready to go. We're ready to go here on the shooter. We're ready to go and set up. Coming out. Coming out. This feels like the chef dice roll. 15 rolls in. I'm all set up, and maybe we have a miracle again, right? But I'm sure I'm not going to watch it from the sidelines. Coming out. Let's do it. Coming out. Nine. Point is 9, 5, 4. Okie doke. There's that. Okay. We do like 9s. Five, 4, 1. One, 4, actually. Sweet. That'll pay the 14. So I'm just going to press it by 1 nickel for right now. I may grab the 8 later on, but for right now, let's take something to the rack. Put a little something out there, and then we'll start moving through. I'm not going to get hyper aggressive. Okay, here we go. It's worth a shot there, Danny. It's worth a shot. Okay, dice out. Oh, big bounce. 5 again, though. 4-1. Love it. Love it. 1 and a 4. 1 and a 4. Good deal. All right, $21 on that 5, which is fantastic. Again, I'm just going to make it look like a quarter. I'm rolling it. I'll take the rest back. I don't see a need to grab the 8 just yet. 5's at green. Maybe the next hit will grab the 8, but for right now, I'm happy. Please roll a 4, says Buckeye. I know. I know. I can't see. I see a 6 and I see a 1. That's the 7. And we're done. We're done. We pulled a little tiny bit out of that. Not enough, right? Let's log it in and then we'll sit and talk. So 6, 1, 7. That was a 20 roller. I'll take that all day. Didn't love that horn sequence in the middle, really, but it is what it is, right? Let's go transition to the other screen. Give me a minute to get in here and my other stuff set up and we'll talk about it. Studio. I need to get like a better way to do this. It's the one thing in my studio I think is missing. There we go. Okay. Let's recap a little bit on that. So I know in the chat it comes up a lot. Why aren't you doing X? Why don't you change your set? Well, I don't change my set because every roll I take, I log in the computer, it's gathering data on a certain set, right? So if you change sets, you lose your data. So that's why I don't change sets. The other thing I get a lot is why aren't you betting on X, Y, or Z? Why don't you transition to the dark side? Why don't you go to the whatever, right? If I'm doing a show where I'm going to show you how I play at the casino or how I adjust, that would do that, right? Here I'm saying, let me show you what it looks like to take a $25 come bet, turn it into a $10 place bet, and then work that bet, right? That was the idea today, was to say, look, if you're going to play the horseman and you're going to stop playing it or you're going to force it on a long, long shooter, here's what you're going to miss, and here's how you can play it differently in that kind of a roll. So I wanted to show how to do the transition and then how to play it after that. Again, this ended up being a 20 roller. Joe ran into a 50 roller, right? So what does it look like to go from $25 come bets to $10 place bets on a 50 roller? If I'd gotten a huge roller like we had last week, you would have saw something different happen, right? As it turns out, we end up losing $100. We were never in jeopardy. The horsemen, for the most part, you're never in jeopardy. All that, 5 shooters in, we lost less than $100. We have 375, 385, 390, we have 395 in the rack, right? So we lost $105, right? Yeah, $105 we lost. Big deal, right? To take a shot at it. And again, we're never in jeopardy, and I'm trying to show how you can transition from the horseman early to the right side late. It doesn't always work, but if you're concerned about missing out on a long roll, but you also want to play the horseman, those two forces are opposing sometimes, unless you figure out a way to transition it. And that's why I showed that. Again, would have been more aggressive earlier. I would have taken the $25 win and gotten 2 bets instead of 1. I would have got there a little quicker. But again, I wanted to show a safety play. And I'm not going to always adjust to what I'm doing as a shooter in these moments when I'm teaching a certain way to play, because I want you to see the patterns, right? It's very difficult for you to watch sometimes and go, God, why does he just change? And I'm sitting there going, I wish I was doing something else, but I really want to show the thing so you can see how the thing works in bad and good situations. If I just tell you do the thing and it's going to work, and you don't see it failing or flopping or stagnating, your opinion of the thing might be tainted by what I said, not by what you saw. That's important that I do that. And that's the reason why I do it this way always. Again, it's focus too. If I have chips everywhere and I'm making a million different changes, you can't focus on what I'm saying. and the 2 bets that I've got out there. I think it's important to see it that way. So it's a teaching technique that I use, and that's why I do it this way. So I know it's frustrating sometimes, but that's the reasons why I do that. So let me check out for other PCs and questions. Let me see here. Oh, you're always welcome, David. Always welcome. 20 roller didn't. Yeah, exactly. 20 roller didn't win. But again, I'm showing something specific, right? I'm showing something very specific, and that's the reason why I didn't try to win. I tried to show you the move, right? The move can work. The move can fail, but I got to focus on the move, right? Otherwise, it's kind of a wasted hour. That's kind of how I see that. So it was good rolling. That was actually a pretty good roll. 2 points, 20 rolls. That really weird horn sequence kind of sucked though, right? Anything else questions-wise that I'm missing? Let me just do a quick little, I got to type it in here. Q for questions. Let's see. I showed duck and cover already, so hopefully you saw that. Question, why are we all so faithful at 6 and 8? Can't even count how much times. Yeah, it's all the same, right? To me, the 6 and 8 or the 5 and 9 or the 4, it's all the same, right? Probabilities will get you in the end. You got a better chance. If you're trying to get out quick, you got a better chance on those 2. That's the only reason. That's the only reason to do it, right? You have 4 extra chances versus the 4 and 10. That's the reason why. Okay, so Gary, why did I pull the DP when I won? We talked about that during the roll. If you catch a come out winner on the don't pass, it's kind of a miracle, right? 2 ways to do it. I think Gary's got a good idea here, right? Pull it down. That bet did its job. Now I'll go 3 come bets, right? I look at that going, that was free money for me. I'll often go from 50 to 75 on that bet. Like take 1, press 1, and let it run itself through. Maybe we get lucky on that thing and catch a quick little run. The don't pass has these oftentimes 1 or 2 or 3 roll streaks in it. That's what you're kind of praying for in that kind of deal. That's, again, I like to keep it active, but I totally get your point, man. We're going to go live Wednesday at 6 again. And oh, by the way, about the David and John show, let's talk about that real quick. I want to know what your thoughts are on that because it's hard. The way that show is set up, by the way, David's at his table, like over here. He's doing the thing. He can't see me. I'm talking and making hand gestures. He can't see me. All he can do is hear in his headphones, right? Dennis can kind of see me, but they have like a little computer over there. So it's really hard to get the rhythm of who's talking when down because nobody can see anybody. I can see everything. Nobody else can because I have the control panel. So we need to figure out the right rhythm for that one, right? And how it's going to work best. So the more feedback you can give us on how to make that show better, we'll take it. I don't want it to become the John show, interviewing David. I don't want it to become just David and Dennis running a strategy live with me throwing commentary in because that's boring too, right? We got to find the new thing that makes that show tick, right? And how we transition and talk is going to be a big part of it. So yeah, if you like the show, keep watching it, right? But I'll also throw us your feedback, all right? Less creepiness. I'm not sure what that means. All right, let me go. I got to get out of here. It's 8:45. Good Monday. Good Monday. Happy Monday. Happy birthday to Joe, by the way. I didn't know it was Joe's birthday. For some reason, I don't have him in my phone as having a birthday today, so I'm going to add that in there. Everybody, if he's watching, happy birthday, Joe. If he's not watching, wish him a belated happy birthday tomorrow. All right? Y'all have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.